joining me for level 3 of our Latin motion video series. If you haven't already looked at level 1 and level 2, I encourage you to do that now before you start the exercises in this video. Before we start, I just want to briefly explain the value in practicing the exercises that I've given in all 3 of these videos. As dancers, we spend a lot of time doing walking exercises. Why? Because dancing is just stylized walking. So each dance has a different type of walk, and because we're trying to develop our Latin motion, we're going to be walking with the techniques that allow us to use Latin motion while we're dancing. So that's the reason why I do a lot of walking, just forward, backward, in place, and to the side, because that is the thing that's going to be the most helpful while you're dancing, because really, when we're dancing, all we're doing is walking. Before we get into the dancing portion of this video, I just want to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Give this video a like if you find it helpful, and or write a comment below telling me something that you liked about the video, something else you'd like to see on this channel, and I will gladly make a video addressing whatever subject that is. Now let's get dancing. On the concepts that I present there before starting on what we're going to work on today. So the very first thing that we're going to do today is, again, start with our base exercise like I did in the last video, trying to eliminate as much of the space between our legs as possible, and alternating bending and straightening the knee. So the last thing that we're going to do in this video series to refine this action is to find a moment where we have 2 straight knees. So up until this point, we've been just alternating the knees. We're squeezing the thighs together, but we weren't thinking much about what happens between the weight changes. And now we're going to. So we'll do our exercise. We squeeze our legs together. I bend one knee. And now, before I bend the other knee, I'm going to straighten the one that was bent. So I end up with 2 straight knees. And then I'm going to bend the other knee. So I straighten, then I bend. And I straighten and bend. And straighten and bend. And straighten and bend. Making sure that there's a moment where I have 2 straight knees. Now the reason for this is because having this moment in the middle where my pelvis is in neutral is going to actually help me emphasize the movement that I do with my hips, yeah? Whereas if I'm just switching the knees, yes, my hips are moving from side to side, but it doesn't look as nice as if I have that neutral moment in the middle. Anytime that we can add extra resistance to our movements while we're dancing, it's always going to give it a more elevated look and feel. So we'll do this again, squeezing the legs together, and I go bend, straighten, 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 bend, straighten. Now we're going to do the same thing, walking forward. Walk, I'm going to straighten my front knee, my back knee is still straight, and then I can bend it to move. Step, straighten, and 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 step. Now we'll do the same thing, moving backwards. So I start with my base exercise. Step, 2. Now as I walk backward, step, I'm going to straighten my back knee, and then I can move. Step, straighten, and then I can bend my front knee. Straighten, step, straighten, and step. Straighten, brushing the ankles through. Like we talked about in the last video, now I'm going to change. Step forward, straighten, step, straighten, brush, step, straighten, brush, step, straighten, brush, step, straighten, brush, step. Now as you can see, when I straighten my leg, my hip is naturally going to go toward the side of the foot that I've just stepped on. So when I step on my bent knee, as we've talked about in lesson 1 and 2, my hip is going to stay behind. As I straighten my knee, my hip is going to come onto this new standing leg so that I can pass this foot through. Straighten hip, step, straighten hip, brush, step, straighten hip, brush, step, straighten hip, brush, step. Ready? We go. Straight, step, straight, and back, step. Straight brush, step, straight brush, and forward. Step, straight brush, and in place. And back, step, straight brush, and forward. And together. Last time. Straight, step, and back. Step, straight brush, and forward. Step. 5, 6, ready, and slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, slow. Now we go back, slow. Quick and slow. Quick, slow. Quick, slow. Quick, slow. Forward. Quick, slow. And quick and slow. Quick and slow. And quick together. Quick. And we go back. Quick and slow. And quick and slow. Quick, slow. Quick, go forward. Quick and slow. And quick and slow. Quick and slow. Quick and slow. Now we're going to work on turning steps, because actually Latin motion is very important in being able to turn correctly in your social dancing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is a swiveling exercise on both sides. So I'm going to start by stepping to the side onto a bent knee, step, and now when I straighten my knee, I'm going to swivel 1/4 to the right, and now I'm going to step forward onto a bent knee. Now I straighten that leg, and when I straighten it, I'm going to turn, step to the side, straighten, turn. Step forward, straighten. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I go step, straighten, step, straighten, turn. Step, straighten, turn, step, straighten, turn. Now, a couple things. One, in Latin social dancing, usually we're turning with our whole foot on the ground. So we want to resist the temptation to go up onto my toe to turn, because it's going to make my turn slow and it will probably take me off balance. When we're doing Latin dancing, we really want to push down into the ground to turn. So I'm keeping my heel on the ground, and it actually helps me connect to my hip to help me swivel. So we're going to try this again, keeping the whole foot on the ground. I go step, straight, straight turn. Step, straight turn. Step, straight turn. Step, straight turn. As you can see, I'm also gathering my feet when I turn before I step, which just gives me a much cleaner looking movement and helps me make sure that I'm not falling into my next step, but that I really have my weight centered over my standing foot. Let's do the other side. Step, straight turn. Step, straight turn. Step, straight turn. Step, straight turn. Sorry, we go step, straight, step, straight, step, straight, step, straight. Other side. Step, straight, step, straight, step, straight, step, straight. Again. Ready and a step, straight, step, straight, step, straight, step, straight. And change. Here we go. Step, straight, step, straight, step, straight, step, straight. I'm going to start by stepping to the side now. And I'm going to rotate 1/8 of a turn so that I'm on a diagonal to where I started. So I go step, and again, when I straighten my knee, I rotate. Now, I'm going to do a rock step back. We worked on rock steps in our last video. I'm going to go rock, step, and when I straighten this front knee, I'm going to turn back to where I started and go to the side. And I rotate and rock, step, rotate, side. And rock, step, rotate, side, rotate. Rock, step, rotate, side, rotate, rock. Step and side, rock. Step and side, rock. Step and side, rock. Step and side. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing going diagonally forward. So I'll step to the side, side, rotate 1/8 of a turn. Now we're going to step forward, rock, step and side, and rock, step and side, and rock, step and side, and rock, step and side. So if you're having trouble with our rock steps, go ahead and refer back to video number 2, and that's where we're practicing our rocking action. When you feel comfortable with that, come back to this video and apply the rotation between the rock steps. Slow beat. Slow, 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 and 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 slow, slow. Now let's go forward. And slow, 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 and slow. And step, straight, step, straight, step, straighten and step, step, straighten and step, straight and step, and step. Okay, so that concludes our Latin motion series. I sincerely hope that you found these videos helpful and that you'll continue to use these exercises to practice and improve your Latin motion in your dancing. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Until next time, keep dancing.